Welcome everyone. You might notice that I'm not on my main Ultimate Iron Man right now. This is my account Rainfallen. I started this account a couple of years ago when I was doing AFK content on Zorte and I needed something to help occupy my attention. This is not a normal Ultimate Iron Man though. This is my no looting bag Ultimate Iron Man. I'm sure you've already noticed this account has a decent amount of gear and levels on it. Now, initially, I was a bit hesitant about using this account for a series. After all, it's not starting from scratch. But Torvesta recently came out with a new high-risk hardcore Iron Man series, where the account that he's using is also a partially progressed older account. My account's at a very similar point to his, so I thought, you know what, if he's going for it, then I should too. So let's start with what I've got. I would estimate that 85% of this account's progress has been achieved through AFK activities. Let's begin with my starting skills. Do note that at the time of recording this intro, I've leveled some of my stats a bit further, so my true starting stats are a little bit lower, specifically crafting and smithing. My combat skills were all done at Ammonite Crabs, agility was done through rooftops in order to get graceful, and I spent a bit at the agility pyramid to make some early game GP. Herbler was achieved through XP lamps that I got for completing the Varrock Museum with the Fossil Island finds. Prayer was a result from that same grind. I just traded in my extra fossils to the mycelium pool for prayer XP, and then I topped it off at pest control to finish off 70 prayer. Crafting was done AFKing the Morton Temple, and the entire right side of my skills list was either quested or lazily trained through different AFK methods. The rest of my stats, like Slayer and Construction, make up probably 5% of the active attention that I've given this account stats. Next, let's talk quests, which is probably the last 10% of non-AFK content that I've done on here. With 93 quest points starting, I have a decent start, but nothing to write home about. Again, I completed a few quests in this episode, which is why the current quest count that you're seeing is a little bit higher. As you might have noticed from my skills, the last time I played this account, I was working towards Desert Treasure and the requirements for Recipe for Disaster. Next, the notable items that I've acquired. These primarily include the Rune Pouch, the Strength Cape, Dragon Defender, upgraded Ivan Staff, and Black Dragonhide Body. Everything else is pretty meh. Finally, what's the point of this account? Well, playing a UIM is a challenge in and of itself. To be honest though, outside of a handful of PVM items, I've pretty much completed everything that I set out to do on Zorte when I achieved my Infernal Cape. Yeah, I'd like to get the Diary Cape someday, and Torva and the Elysian Spirit Shield are on my mind, but I've largely surpassed the goals that I wanted out of that account. Rainfallen, on the other hand, is meant to be a hard mode UIM account. The looting bag is as close to a hard requirement for ultimates as you can get. Playing a UIM without one will take extreme patience and discipline in choosing which 28 items to keep. Quite literally, my primary item storage is cut in half without the looting bag, and creativity will be essential to my success. In terms of goals, I love PVMing. On an ultimate, that's easier said than done, and one might look at my stats and say, well, you look pretty close to PVM ready to me. And while I would understand you thinking that, it's really farther than you might imagine. The good news is that the stats I already do have will cut out most of the boring early game parts of UIM training, and we can jump straight into bigger and better things. My first big goal is to knock off some of the major quests, namely Song of the Elves, Monkey Madness 2, Desert Treasure, and Sins of the Father. This is not going to be an easy feat with only 28 storage spaces, but I am up for the challenge. Way later on, Corrupted Gauntlet, Theater of Blood, God Wars, and maybe even the Inferno are on the table. Oh, and one more thing. The continuation of this account depends largely on your response to this video. If this is something that people want to see, I need you to let me know with either a like or leaving me a comment. And that's not my usual plug for likes or subscriptions. I will be directly looking to the results of this video to determine if I continue on this journey or not. If people aren't interested, then it's not worth me investing my time or money for membership on yet another account. With that said, I welcome you to my new UIM journey, and let's get started with episode 1. So here we are. I am standing in the Champions Guild, which is very fitting because I look like an absolute champion right now. I think the very first thing on my to-do list is going to be to try to knock out Ghosts Ahoy so that I can get my hands on a one-click teleport, and it also opens up that side of the map, which is going to become important for me later. And my inventory is looking a bit claustrophobic right now, so I'm going to get rid of some items here, try to use up what I can, and see how much space I can make. I'm looking at my current favor, and I see that I have 100% Arceus and 100% Hesidious favor. And with 100% Hesidious favor and level 16 woodcutting, I should be able to enter the woodcutting guild, I believe. That's probably where I got this axe in the first place. So I think that means I can go ahead and drop this since that's an easy buyback. The super anti-poisons I can always pick up north of Castle War, so I'll probably drop that as well. U shortbow I can fletch since I have 65 fletching. And the rune arrows, although nice, are not super valuable, and I think the 15.7k steel arrows that I fletch will prove to be more valuable in the future. The Ava's device I can get back from Ava, Artie Cloak I can get back from Purdue, and the herbs are probably going to be what I'm going to start with as far as trying to use stuff up. So goodbye to all of this stuff. Actually, you know what? I'll sell some of this to the general store, and then we'll get on with Ghosts Ahoy. And with this last batch, my hard-earned items have gone ahead and been sold to the store. I did make myself 15k, so not a total loss, but it definitely hurts getting rid of this stuff already, so that's probably not a great sign for what's to come since I'm going to have to be getting rid of a lot of stuff in the future, but that frees up quite a bit. So now that I've got some extra space, actually might want to hang on to this one for now, let's go ahead and gather the items that we're going to need for the quest. The herb's been used up. Can you tell an Ultimate Iron Man has been here? I'm absolutely zooming through my law runes right now, so we're going to invest some of this cash stack here into beefing up the law stack just a little bit. I probably should check how much that was going to cost. Ugh, that's a lot of money. But I will sell my natures back because I don't need them right now. How much do these sell for? 90 coins? Come on, man. Okay, literally 1 hour later, I have all of the supplies that I need to start Ghosts Ahoy. This is fine. You know, guys, I was thinking while I'm here in Mauritania, maybe I should just forge my own journey and eventually take on the Theater of Blood. Nah, no one would watch that. And with that, Ghosts Ahoy is completed. Now the fun thing begins, and I get to grind charter ship crafting in Port Phasmatis until we can make a Ring of Wealth to use up one of these Dragon Stones. Just to show you guys the method that we're working with right now, I go ahead and buy 8 buckets of sand and 8 soda ash from the charter ships because that's all I can fit in my inventory. Have a little jog down to the furnace. Make the supplies into molten glass. And turn walk on and blow these into lantern lenses while I walk back to the charter ship to repeat the process. Super fun. There is 54 crafting. Alright, that wasn't too bad. I need, let's see, 15k more experience for 55, which is going to allow me to make a Ring of Wealth with one of these Dragon Stones. Although I don't mind this method and I could knock that out pretty easily, I need to do a bunch of quests, so I figured I may as well quest the next level. I think I'm going to try to knock out Tears of Guthix, Getting Ahead, Elemental Workshop 1, and Hand in the Sand as they all give crafting experience. Wanting to work towards Song of the Elves with the huge skill requirements that are involved with that, I'm just realizing exactly how much questing I'm going to have to do, and it's an enormous amount. But I'm going to try to take it just one chunk at a time, not get overwhelmed, and I guess I'll see you back with some quest completions. There's 4k crafting experience, another 5k crafting XP. I just spacebarred right on through, but just finished Hand in the Sand, got myself 9k crafting XP, and that's enough for 55. So with that, we can go ahead and take one of these uncut Dragon Stones and make it into a Ring of Wealth. Got myself a cheeky little genie here, so I think I'm going to throw this on Hunter since I am just 1 XP away from level 15. May as well get myself a total level here. And straight on to the Hunter. Level 15. Very nice. Got the gold bar, got the chisel. Going to go ahead and make myself a Dragonstone ring here. I have been doing a little bit of thinking, And I have the second Dragonstone. I was initially going to save it to make a glory for my POH because the infinite teleports from the POH glory are incredibly overpowered, but I only have 55 crafting right now, and in the meantime, an extra inventory space is super, super valuable since I obviously can't throw this into a looting bag. So I think I'm probably just going to end up dropping this Dragonstone and just use the Dragonstone ring as the glory right now. Or, excuse me, as the Ring of Wealth. The whole point of that is that when I'm doing my Slayer grind, it'll be really nice to not have to pick up my coins, and I don't really need the Ring of Life. Eventually, this will be replaced with a Ring of Suffering, but that's the current plan, so going to hustle over to Mr. Ali Morsane, grab the runes that I need to enchant this, and we'll make it into a I keep wanting to say glory, into a Ring of Wealth. By the way, I don't know if I ever mentioned this on my main Ultimate Iron Man series, but they recently added a trade option to Ali Morsane, which reduces the amount of dialogue that you have to go through. You used to have to click through like 50 dialogue messages to get to the runes, and now it's just the one, so thank you Jagex for streamlining that a little bit. I was too lazy to unlock the elemental runes at Ali Morsane because you have to do a Sudoku puzzle and just was not feeling that. So I ran over to Mr. Aubrey and Varrock, bought myself some water runes, and got what we needed for the Enchant Dragonstone spell. So with that, let's go ahead and enchant the Dragonstone ring. And there it is. Quite a few hours of work, but got the Ring of Wealth here. And with that, I no longer need my Ring of Life, and like I said, I decided to drop my Uncut Dragonstone. Hopefully I don't regret that too much in the future, but I don't think I will. So gonna go ahead and get rid of both of those. Look at this nice, oh, hang on, let's get rid of these too. Okay, now look at this really nice clean inventory. This is pretty crazy for an ultimate. It's definitely going to fill up a lot, but I need to think about what I want to do with all of this space because it's not going to last forever. I'm thinking that I need to start making some money because a lot of my future grinds, smithing and mage, stuff like that, construction are going to require a lot of GP. So I'm hoping I left myself some money in the Nightmare Zone coffer, and this minigame teleport expires or will recharge in a few minutes. So I'm going to head over there, check the coffer, and hopefully just have heaps of GP waiting for me from when I played a few years ago. Show me the money! Oh. Alright, well, that's not exactly what I expected. So, since I'm sitting on 69 agility, I think what I'm going to do is make my way over to the agility pyramid, and I'll probably just train there till 70, since 70 is one of the requirements for Song of the Elves, and I'm working towards that anyway, and that way I'll make myself some GP in the process. One other goal that I have with this series that I haven't mentioned yet is I have a very good friend, and his name is Wings, and he's actually a maxed Iron Man. Super impressive account. But the only thing is, he has a Fire Max cape, and despite being very good at PVM and having a lot of PVM experience, he has not completed the Inferno. And he wants to, or so he says, but he literally does not practice the Inferno at all. I've offered to help teach him since I did it like November of this year, so a few months ago, or I guess last year. But anyway, he just won't do his runs. So what I want to do is motivate him to do his runs. So what I'm going to be doing is once per episode, we're just going to send him a PM and we're going to remind him to do his Inferno runs. So I think today I'm going to ask, how many Inferno practice runs have you done so far? Smiley face. And we'll see what he says. Oh, and he actually sends me a really nice message when I send him that trolley message. Oh, that's perfect. Like 4 in my sleep, if that counts. Okay, so that's about what I expected. So you guys sitting there watching this video, maybe just take a minute and leave him an inspirational comment in the comment section, and I'm sure he'll really appreciate that when he watches this video. And let's get him motivated to do some Inferno practice runs, alright? And there's 70 agility. Made myself a few 100k, and I believe this is the first of the mini Song of the Elves requirements that has now been completed. I decided to stick around, round out the 100 laps even, and earn myself a little bit more GP. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you like this concept, again, please consider subscribing, leave me a like, or drop me a comment to let me know what you thought. If the reception is good, I will make more of these. If not, then we'll scrap it. But thank you guys very much for watching this episode. I'm excited about this. I hope you guys like it too. And the next episode will probably be more of my standard UIM countdown content. I have another episode of Unique Ultimate Iron Man coming out that you absolutely don't want to miss. Some insane accounts there. And I can't wait for you guys to see that as well. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.